Hare Krishna, everyone, and welcome back once again to our ongoing lecture series entitled The Glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Pastacha Deshatarine. Oh, glories to Sri Prabhupada. So we are continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love, and this will be part 174, in which we will carry on with our present theme of the glories of Srimati Radharani, and of course our new discussions on her glances. But before beginning, I would like to share with you a very beautiful prayer glorifying Sri Radha's eyes, which of course are the source of her powerful glances. It's a prayer written by a poet named Madhvacharya. This Madhvacharya is one of the acharyas in the Nimbarka Sampradaya. And I was reading, he was born as a prince in a royal family of kings in a Rajput dynasty. But he later walked away from all of that, from the royal household, to live as a sadhu in Vrindavan very early in his life. And even today, he is a highly respected poet in Braj. Now, his prayer is in the form of a dialogue spoken by Vrinda Devi to Srimati Radharani. It's really, really beautiful. Vrinda Devi says, O Radha, within your heart, the beautiful form of Krishna is safely hidden, like a priceless treasure kept in a secret chamber. No one can see the many forms of Krishna that reside there. But O Radhe, the reflection of that same Krishna is always dancing within your eyes. And whoever beholds your eyes receives that blissful darshan of that dancing Krishna. You are the very embodiment of modesty and shyness. Therefore your eyes are always cast downward towards your lotus feet. Even the celestial ladies long to look into your eyes, but because you keep them lowered, they are unable to behold that divine vision within. What to speak of others, even Lord Shiva himself prays for just one sidelong glance from you, so that he too may behold that sweet form of Krishna reflected in your eyes. The young gopis of Braj do not even desire direct darshan of Krishna. Instead, they long to see him through your eyes, for that vision is sweeter still. When you walk through the lanes of Braj, you gently cover your eyes with the edge of your veil, so that the elders cannot perceive the deep love for Krishna hidden within your glance. Your sparkling eyes carry within them the beauty of Krishna's entire form, and that vision casts a spell upon the hearts of all who behold them. The birds, the bees, the deer, and the peahens all become enchanted and begin to sing and hum in joy simply by seeing your eyes. Your eyes are like temples within which the deity of dancing Krishna resides. And your eyelashes, they are like the curtains of that temple, revealing him only to qualified souls. Your dear Lalita Devi spends long hours simply gazing into your eyes, completely absorbed in that vision. It is said that the brilliance of the stars resides within your eyes, and when you close them, countless forms of Krishna appear within your vision, moving like clouds across the sky. Sometimes your eyes are filled with tears of divine joy, and your vision becomes blurred. At that time, every pore of your body becomes like an eye beholding Krishna. Thus the demigods call you Satakshi. Satakshi, she who has hundreds of eyes. O Radhe, the depth of your vision is greater than the deepest ocean. Your eyes are like a palace of mirrors, where one form of Krishna appears as many, creating the illusion of divine love. Within your eyes reside all divine energies. At their beginning, Gayatri. Within their depth, Katyayani. At their edges, Kali. In their brightness, Lakshmi. And at their conclusion, Saraswati. Sages and saints meditate for ages just to get a glimpse of the light within your eyes. And in that vision they find their ultimate fulfillment. The sun and the moon themselves take shelter in the radiance of your eyes. But in Braj, your eyes are the true treasure of all the residents, for within them they behold their beloved Gopal. It is said that one who meditates on this prayer daily with sincerity can regain true vision, not only of the eyes, but of the heart as well. I told you it was beautiful. You can hear that again and again and again, like wake up every morning and hear that. So we owe so much to that poet. Hare Krishna. So Prabhus, today we will discuss more about the glances of Srimati Radharani. Now I want to warn you, well it's not a warning, but let you know that this part of the class will be, how could I say, transcendentally technical. Is that a proper phrase? Transcendentally technical, but necessary. And our technical guide, interesting terms, our technical guide for much of it will be Srila Rupa Goswami. So you have to listen carefully. And I have to focus as well. So first of all, the Sanskrit term for glances is vikshanam. Vikshanam. The gopis speak of loving vikshanam, glances, particularly about Krishna in the Gopi Gita. It's Srimad Bhagavatam 10:31-10. Prahastitam priya prema vikshanam vihar anam chate dhyana mangalam. Quote, your smiles, your sweet loving glances, the intimate pastimes and confidential talks we enjoyed with you, all these are auspicious to meditate upon. And they touch our hearts. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:31-10. Now, there are more Sanskrit terms for a glance beside the one I gave, such as avaloka, avalokana, drishti, vikshita, viksha, ikshanam, etc. Now that's just glances. Now there are separate terms, this is the science of glances, there are separate terms for sidelong glances, like apangamoksha, that's one that I found, apangamoksha, referring just to sidelong glances. Now in Ujvala Nilamani, in the section called Duti Beda Prakaranam, our beloved Rupa Goswami describes, he puts it, the various actions of the body that the gopis execute in front of Krishna. So let me rephrase that. It means when the gopis are in front of Krishna, they exhibit their fascination or their love for Krishna, they express it through different parts of their bodies. But just like if you're in front of somebody, the way you look at them, how you tilt your head, how you move your arms, this is what he's referring to. How the gopis express their love for Krishna when they're in front of him. And he names these actions of the body as Angika Sva Biyoga. Angika Sva Biyoga, it's the technical term. And these Angika Svabhavi yogas, meaning specifically zoning in on them, include actions of the fingers. Just like, I know in Italy they talk a lot with their fingers. So actions of the fingers, and he says, such as snapping the fingers. And he gives another example, when the gopis are in front of Krishna, they scraping the ground with their toenails, scratching their ears out of shyness, etc. This is the science of bhakti. And this all includes actions of other bodily limbs too, like zoning in again. He says actions of the eyes through glancing in various ways. So that's what we're going to focus on here. You could study for hours the different bodily motions and ways the gopis act in front of Krishna. But let's get into the eyes and specifically the glances, how they glance at Krishna. Now, in the actions of the eyes, he mentions the following verse. It's from Ujjvala Nilamani 743, specifically. Smiling with the eyes, half closing the eyes, rolling the corners of the eyes, contracting the corners of the eyes, a crooked sidelong glance, looking with the left eye, and casting amorous glances, etc., are called chakshusha angika abhiyoga, or, from this part of the body, visual expressions of love. Now, then Rupa Goswami goes on giving examples of each one of them, because he listed them very nicely. Smiling with the eyes, half closing the eyes, rolling the corners of the eyes, contracting the corners of the eyes, a crooked sidelong glance, looking with the left eye and casting amorous glances, etc. Okay, but now he's going to give us examples to make it clear. Very often in our preaching, right, we give examples to make a philosophical point very clear. So he starts giving these examples of each one of them. First he gives an example of netra smita, the smiling glance. Remember that was one of the first, the smiling glance. So what's an example of a smiling glance? And this he gives at Ujjvala Nilamani 744. In the evening, Sri Krishna was returning home from the forest. Upon seeing him, Sri Radha initially closed both her eyes, but out of eagerness her eyes soon blossomed and opened wide again, exhibiting a smiling glance. Seeing this, Shaima, a friend, said to Radha playfully, "O friend, while you are pretending to be indifferent and trying to hide the amorous confusion caused by the Lord of Love, Kamadev, in front of Sri Krishna, your two eyes are naturally smiling, as if laughing at your own deceit." So that's a smiling glance. He's giving examples. Now I told you it's technical, and you have to focus, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Then Rupa Goswami gives an example of Netradra Mudra, which means, as we mentioned, glancing with half-closed eyes. Glancing with half-closed eyes? Because glances are so much part of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. This is why he takes the time to go into it very deeply. So here he's giving an example of glancing with half-closed eyes. He writes, once Sri Radha was sitting before Sri Krishna with her eyes half-closed. He says, Ardha Nimi Lita. Seeing this, Kundalata playfully said, "O friend, poets describe the two eyes shining in the sky of Krishna's face as Pushpa Vanta, meaning the sun and the moon rising simultaneously. Therefore, in the presence of those eyes, why wouldn't your lotus-like eyes be half-closed? Since a lotus closes upon seeing the moon and blossoms upon seeing the sun." Wow. O Radha, when both the sun and the moon are present together before you, it is only fitting that your lotus eyes remain half-closed and half-open. That's Ujjvala Nilamani 745. Glancing with half-closed eyes. Then he gives an example of Netranta Brahmaha. Glancing while rolling the corners of the eyes. Only in Braj. Only in the spiritual world. Glancing at your lover while rolling the corners of the eyes. And now we'll hear how it happens amongst the best of lovers. Rupa writes, Vrinda said, O Shamagopi, although Sri Mukunda finds the excitement of two bulls fighting very interesting, he is still casting his gaze towards you and showing no interest in the fight. His mind does not even go towards the beautiful assembly of his playful friends. He stands as still as a tumul tree. Why then are you continuing to make the corners of your eyes dance? That's Ujjvala Nilamani 746. Why then are you continuing to make the corners of your eyes dance? So that's the example he gives of glancing while rolling the corners of the eyes. Then he gives an example of netranta kunanam. This means glances while narrowing the ends of the eyes. Glances while narrowing the ends of the eyes. And here's the example he gives so we can understand. Nandi Mukhi said to Purnamasi, O goddess, when Sri Krishna, the sovereign lord of the banks of the Jamuna, was wandering along the shore, Shamala Gopi saw him for the very first time. She became struck with wonder, and while manifesting shyness, the corners of her restless eyes became slightly narrowed. That's Ujjvala Nilamani, 747, glances while narrowing the ends of the eyes. Are you still with me? Hopefully, probably have to listen to this class a few times to learn the science of glances in Braj. He then gives an example of chachiksha. This is a crooked glance. He writes, Sri Krishna said to Subal, O friend, today while I was wandering along the banks of the Jamuna, Sri Radha saw me and cast her sidelong glances upon me, glances that were dancing and moving with a curved, graceful motion. Since that moment, Sri Radha's crooked glance has entered my heart and is making me utterly helpless, acting just like the broken front tip of Cupid's arrow. That's Ujjvala Nilamani 748, a crooked glance. He then gives an example of Vamadrik Preksha, glancing with the left eye while closing the right one. He writes, seeing Krishna in the solitary forest, Sri Radha was relishing his beauty and sweetness with the left eye. Seeing this, Vrinda Devi said jokingly, O Radha, while drinking from the dark ocean, Sham Shumudra, which is filled with waves of bliss, and joined by the moon, you have become absent-minded and are taking the form of sage Agastya by drinking it through the cupped palms of your left eye. Well, there you go. That's Ujjvala Nilamani, 746. Poetry. It just brings the emotions deep from within the heart. That's glancing with the left eye while closing the right eye. Now, Sri Rupa Goswami, how would I say, pens a special verse defining the next type of glance, the most important, most potent, most powerful, the glance filled with the most prem. It's called Kataksha. This is a very special type of glance, which is usually translated as a sidelong glance. Sidelong glance. However, it also has a very special definition that cannot be given in a single phrase. And hence, a verse is needed for such a special definition. And here is the special detailed definition of Kataksha. Yad gata gati vishanti vichir yena vivartanam tara kaya kala binash tam kataksham pachakshate. Quote, Kataksha. It's very detailed and very deep. The movement, coming and going, of the pupils of the eyes and their intermediate resting, performed repeatedly with a sense of wonder or charm, is what the connoisseurs of rasa call Kataksha. I think we need to repeat that. The movement, coming and going, of the pupils of the eyes and their intermediate resting, performed repeatedly with a sense of wonder or charm, is what the connoisseurs of rasa call Kataksha. Now we know, Ujvala Nilamani, 750. So this Kataksha is a special type of glance, meaning a sidelong glance. And then he gives an example of Kataksha. And I quote, Sri Radha was once casting arrows of sidelong glances, Kataksha, towards Krishna. She could feel that Krishna was becoming overwhelmed with love because of them. However, upon suddenly seeing Padma, a friend of Radharani's rival, Chandravali, Radha became suspicious, thinking that perhaps Krishna's state of being overwhelmed was actually being caused by Padma's glances. So Vrinda was there. So realizing this, Vrinda said to Sri Radha, O Gauri, O fair one, the honeybee of your eyeball is wandering restlessly, whirling around after resting with various expressions. It is constantly traveling towards the lotus of the ear, meaning towards Sri Krishna's face. O Gandharvi, due to the playful movements of the honeybee of your eyeballs, Madhusudan, meaning Sri Krishna, literally the honey drinker, has become so restless at heart that he has completely lost his self-awareness. In such a state, where is room for any doubt regarding Padmali, she says, Padmali, which means both a row of lotuses for the bee or Padma and her group in the context of Sri Krishna. That's Ujvala Nilamani 751. Kataksha, the example. A technical verse about Sri Radha's sidelong glance. So there's a glance at the glances. That's kind of a pun. There's a glance at the science of glances, which Srimati Radharani uses in her pastimes with Krishna. And Krishna also uses sidelong glances. Hare Krishna. Hope it wasn't too technical, but it's there. It's penned by Sri Rupa Goswami, so we must hear. And by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, we must realize all of that. Hare Krishna. So let us conclude today. I chose a verse from Govinda Lilamrita. It's chapter 5, verses actually, 33 to 35. Very appropriate. With his eyes, Lord Krishna spoke the following message to console the distressed Srimati Radharani. My dear girl with the beautiful face, please do not be unhappy. We shall not be separated for long. After an hour or an hour and a half, we shall meet again at the outskirts of this forest. Please be kind to me and meet me at Radhakund. Then with a humble glance, Lord Krishna presented his request. When Srimati Radharani, pretending to be both shy and arrogantly contrary, responded with a sidelong glance of her own, of assent, Lord Krishna became delighted. Radha and Krishna then shot arrows of sidelong glances at each other. These arrows quickly traversed the air, piercing each other's hearts and making them overwhelmed with transcendental bliss. It is extremely difficult for anyone to understand these wonderful, loving exchanges of the divine couple. Hare Krishna. So what's our hope? Our hope against hope. It's the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas. So let us serve them with all our hearts and souls and pray one day that we can enter into these pastimes in the spiritual world. Shravanam Kirtanam brings Krishna Smaranam, such remembrance. So, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. More on glances coming up. A couple more classes on glances coming up. And looking forward to it. Shri Shri Gaurani Tai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radha Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Gaurani Tai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Sham. All glories